guests and we share all of their stories. For today's episode, we have Faisal Murad. But first, I'm your host, Abdullah Hindiani.
And I'm your host, Al-Athari. Abdullah, I'm so excited to talk to this guy today because I feel he has managed to balance so many different and very demanding fields. And I'm interested to know how he can do it all.
Yeah, honestly, like one of his fields we've had in our brief is that he's a gamer, right? He's also a civil engineer. He's also a Taekwondo coach. But as someone who used to game so much, there's no time to have all of that, right? So I'm really curious to see his input, right? How is he managing all of that?
I actually was going to say the same thing because my brothers are major gamers and there are some days where they won't even leave their computer because they're such important things. Well, I guess to them
Well,
it's
gaming
important.
is important.
Yes, it's very important. I think I'm more of just like a observer of those kind of things. I've never really gamed, but it's so cool also that he doesn't only do the behind the scenes gaming fighting online, but in real life he's done it and become a referee as well and a coach. Like those are really impressive achievements. And civil engineering is a very demanding degree as well. So I'm really curious to see what he's going to tell us.
Yeah, honestly, balancing all of those seem like impossible tasks for me, right? And so I am very curious to be with him, to have a conversation with him. But first, we are going to have a very quick break. And we are back with Faisal Murad, mashallah, a civil engineer, passionate gamer, and a Taekwondo coach. So first, welcome and thank you for joining us on The Untold.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
It's wonderful to have you. I'm so impressed that you managed to balance so many different fields, especially since they're all kind of different from each other if you think about it, like engineering, Taekwondo. Um, if you had to remove all those titles, who would you say you are?
I would say I'm a person who's like to help people around me and a speaker, a good listener, a explorer. I like to try new things in my life, like here and there. If something new to me, I would like to go and try it. Even something that not like my field expertise, I just like to try it out, yeah.
That's really cool because sometimes I'm afraid of doing things if I'm not like automatically good at them. It's like a thing that I've been training myself to get rid of since childhood, but it's easier said than done.
And I want to ask you because I imagine civil engineering is where you got in life, but being a Taekwondo coach is where your passion brought you. So how did you discover that?
So it's like when I started like as a player, as an athlete, like when I was a kid, and then later on I saw my coach, which is my like role play or a model, and I want to be like him. So I started like coaching at the young age, like when I was like 20 years old, and it was amazing. And the first year was like when I started my civil engineer course, and I try my best. It's about managing time.
Yeah.
When you manage your time, everything's go very well, yeah.
That's really cool. What made you go like what started your passion in Taekwondo?
So in 2001, like I was 9 years old, and my cousin, like, and by coincidence, he said, like, we have a taekwondo class, come and try it out. The funny thing is, I continued and he just quit doing taekwondo. Yeah,
He brought you in.
yeah, he brought me in. And he just like he couldn't like do it, and since my first tournament, like first tournament from me, and my coach said just do a head kick, and I won by KO knockout.
Mashallah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
I'm a natural at this.
It's natural for me, yeah.
Oh no,
I was just going to ask that, at what point did it transition from being a hobby or passion project of yours to being a discipline?
It's all began like, kids, they have energy and they are hyper and they want to, move a lot around. So this is like one of the sport, like I tried it and it's like, I'm going to keep doing this as long as I am like there. Like if I get injured or something, I'm just going to heal myself and come back and practice again. Yeah, this is my passion came, and I got a lot of support from my family, my father, my mom. They all support to do this. So that's one of the things that keep you pushing forward to it. Yeah.
What made you decide to start coaching since you were a Taekwondo player?
It all began like when I mentioned my coach, when I saw him like teaching, like that phase, that things like he teach someone and he do very good, improve himself, and give reaching an achievement. That's a great feeling for a coach. Like when you teach someone and he learn it in a short time, a long time, it doesn't matter because each kid have his own time or limit to practice or understanding the information. So this kind of thing, when you do it, when you teach someone, it's really fun. It's really like inspirational for yourself, yeah.
I think that goes back to what you said about how you just like to help people and stuff as well. So this is kind of an opportunity for you to share what you know and also encourage young people to embrace that part of themselves, which is really
Exactly.
cool, by the way. People say that Taekwondo is mainly just like fighting, though. Would you say that's what it's about? Or are there misconceptions about the sport?
Well, it's happened a lot. Like when you go to Duania or have a discussion with people, they always say like, "Oh, it's useless in the streets." Okay, like I didn't join Taekwondo so I can just go brawl or fight in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what in their minds. Like boys like it's always violence when I hit people in the streets. Okay, it's an elegant sport. It's an Olympic sport. If you see the tournaments, it's all about like techniques. It's a beautiful sport. Like you use techniques and everything, and it's really also protective, like less energy injuries you get from it. So my goal is to help people, not to be a bully. That's why I also teach also my kids or the students I have, like be a nice guy. Okay, protect your family, but don't be a bully in the street. Yeah, we don't, like I don't teach kids to come my class and learn some moves and go to apply it in school or in the street. Yeah, so that's one of these things. The other misconception they have is about the sports doesn't fit for the girls. I mean, this sport is for everyone. Depends, like, it doesn't matter your age, your gender, it's all like applicable. Like, you can do it and try it, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think a lot of people, like me, at least I mainly got all of my ideas about martial arts from movies or TV shows. And I'm not really into sports, but I used to love watching. So the technique, and it's like kind of beautiful, the movements, how you interact with each other. And I like that you said that's not just for boys, it's for girls as well, like anyone can do it. So I hope that inspires more people to, try it out.
And speaking of trying it out, because as you said in the beginning, that you have so many disciplines, right? You're in martial arts, you're into gaming, and you're also a civil engineer. So did those three, areas come together and joined, unexpectedly, right? They kind of, taught you something and moved, it bled into one another.
So when I was a kid, I used to like to play video games a lot.
Yeah.
And it taught me, like, first of all, English. Like, there's a lot of, most of the games are in English, so it's really interesting. Like, you learn some words, like, useful for you in your life. And also, I play fighting games. Exactly, yeah. So I play fighting games, and sometimes I apply it in Taekwondo, like in the fighting, or the opposite, like both sides, yeah. And civil engineer later on, it's really helpful to be creative and use physics also in Taekwondo. It helps me also, like, for my major, blended to the sports and also in the gaming. Like, from the gaming and civil engineer, you can learn how to, like, be creative and shape things and get new ideas or solve problems also. It helps with that, yeah.
It's so cool that you managed to find a common field in between all of these different things. Like, you learn that the one thing teaches you physics, this one teaches you patience, this one shows you to persevere. Like, I think it's really cool that you managed to learn all of that from different sections of all the different things you do. Is gaming more of a hobby for you?
At the beginning, it was like a hobby. Like, we're kids who just play around, do gathering and everything, but they become like competitive, because when you study something and you find a lot of people like competing, it's more fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you learn about something about the game, there's a tactic, there's rules, there's numbers you have to memorize, and you understand how to move. It's like when you do Taekwondo, like, it's not just you kick, and you have to think, you have to be smart. The smarter you are, the more you have more opportunity or advantage.
And also, gaming has become a legitimate career choice. I mean, we've just seen a few months ago, Saudi Arabia had the World Cup for video games. So it's actually taken, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of careers to be made in video games. So it's not, as much of a playtime passing as it was before.
I agree. A lot of players also, they move toward to be professionals in this. As me, as a professional in Taekwondo and competitive in video games, a lot of kids now, or let's say the teenagers, they're now moving this path. Like, I want to be, this is my career. I'm going to be a professional in video games and I'm good at it. So they get sponsors also. They travel to, like you said, the Saudi Arabia tournaments, and it's a really big thing, yeah.
Would you say it's never too late to start, maybe transitioning your hobby into a career? Because my brothers are big gamers, and one of them, when he was young, I think he wanted to be like a streamer or something and, like, do that kind of stuff online, but it didn't really pan out. So do you have any advice for people who might want to take it in a more professional direction?
I'd rather say you can do the Taekwondo because it's really have a good future. So you start in an athlete, and then, like, After several years, you get your black belt, and then you can choose many paths. Either you're going to be a referee, either local or international, or you can be a coach like me, or you can be also a educator. You can teach people. If you're not good like physically or something, you can teach people about Taekwondo, the rules and everything. Yeah. So you have many paths or many like roads you can use in Taekwondo.
And speaking of Taekwondo, have you ever faced like major setbacks in your career in Taekwondo or as a coach? And how did you approach those setbacks?
Mostly it's like injuries. When I get like an
Okay.
injury, like the most major or horrible injuries I got, like my both feet was broken.
Oh,
So I have to be in the
at the same
clutches all the
time?
Same time, yeah.
Wow.
Same, yeah. Like,
How did that happen?
well, I was in the final match, and you know your blood is boiling, and you heat it up, so you don't feel the pain.
True.
Until you
adrenaline.
finish, until you cool down, you know you feel. So after the match, I fell down, I couldn't walk.
Oh no.
So I have to go to the hospital, and they say both of them gonna be like put plaster on them. So I have to go to university with 2 clutches, and people thought I had an accident or something, and that was one of the most like major things, and it took so much time to recover. But after that, slowly, I get back on the track. Yeah.
It didn't scare you to get back after suffering such an injury?
No, since I was a kid, I get a lot of injuries. I used to cry, like I don't want to go anymore. But then, yeah, it happens a lot. Like most of the kids, like when they face something like the first time pain, first time like you see the blood maybe, or you twist your ankle or anything. So those kind of those things like scared the first time. But then if there is support next to you, like your dad, your mom, your coach, he said it's okay. It happens a lot. It happens like multiple times, and you get used to it. Yeah.
I think I took I'm not sure what it was called, maybe a jiu-jitsu class or something a long time ago. And one of the first things they did was making you go to sleep so that you're not afraid of it when you're
Really?
actually in the ring, you know, with the chokes stuff, so that, you know, you don't fear it anymore.
It's kind of dangerous, yeah. Like when they, like some students or some like people who try the first time, like some of them like they just quit because they say, what I'm gonna do, this is too much for me to put me to sleep or get injured. And some people like, no, this is really good at the beginning. I'm gonna try to conquer it and keep going and practice. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah.
That's really cool because I personally, when I was a kid, I was a big crybaby. I was scared of so much stuff. So I would not have been able to do like that kind of stuff because I was so scared of getting hurt or breaking anything. My dad, bless him though, I think he did jujitsu a long time ago when he was a kid. So he taught me and my brother how to fall. There's apparently like certain techniques so that you don't break certain bones or cause less damage. So I think it's really interesting that these kind of sports can apply to real life in different scenarios. Would you say that it's helped you in your real life as well?
What do I say? Like I didn't have the chance to fight in the street a lot, but I had some fights. You know, like kids when I fight in the school, middle school, I had some fights. Like I beat 3 kids. They were trying to bully me or something. They didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't know. Like I was a quiet guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The class,
They picked on the wrong guy.
Exactly. Because yeah, most of the time they just pick up the quiet person in the class. They say, oh, it doesn't do anything. But later on, I just lashed out and kicked all of 3 of them, and then went to the what do you call him? Some teacher who was sitting down and telling him, like, this guy played Taekwondo martial art. You shouldn't miss with him. Yeah.
He gave
like,
them the news.
Exactly. Yeah. You shouldn't miss with him. Yeah. And then later on, even I went to the US, I didn't have the chance to use it. But once they know I play Taekwondo, they feel safe. When you go at night, like I'm a protective guy, you know?
You're the bodyguard.
Exactly, yeah. They used to hire me in the US. When they go at night, it's like, can you come with us? Because it's too late and we're afraid someone come and harass us or something. I'm like, yeah, sure, I can be there, yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. We're going to go on a short break, but after that, we'll talk more about how all these different fields merge into your life. And thank you for, you know, maybe I'll start Taekwondo now. Who knows?
They're great, yeah. You can join my class, yeah.
I would love that, actually. So stay tuned for after the break.
And we're back with Faisal and Murad, and I believe we haven't gone through this in the first part of the interview, but you're also a referee and you've gone internationally. And I want to ask you, you know, have you ever had to do a very tough, you know, kind of decision in the midst of the moment, right? You know, you had under pressure, you had to take a decision right now. You know, can you talk us through that?
So I would say not in a competition. Like we had a new program like they were teaching us, and we have to do. So usually when you do like refereeing or giving points, we do an individual. Like one he performs,
Yeah.
and then we give him points. But the new thing we tried the first time, like two people at the same time, and you have to focus on both of them, and they both perform. So after they finish, you have to decide who's the winner. That was very difficult because there are details like you have to check their hand movement or the power or speed. So at that moment, you have to decide who's the winner. That was most difficult one. But after practice, you get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that was really tricky. Like, I hate having to make decisions of all kinds, except, like, I'm very good at knowing what I don't want, but for other people, it would be hard for me to be like, sorry, you didn't win because of this one little thing. So I'm sure it wasn't easy for you to get to that stage, but experience helped you, obviously. What is it hard for you to balance this career, like between civil engineering, refereeing, taekwondo, all the stuff, like the gaming? Is there a moment that you felt it was too difficult for you to do all of this stuff and you wanted to give up, or have you always felt like you could do it?
So the first time I felt like I'm gonna quit taekwondo was when I started going to civil engineer like school. I'm like, I cannot do that. I have to study a lot, and every time you like years going forward, things become like harder and difficult. Even like when I play, like in taekwondo, we have different categories. Like we have cadet, junior, and senior. So I was playing those. When I reached to senior, like it was become more difficult because everyone's good also.
Yeah.
And then from high school to university, it become more difficult. So I'm like, okay, maybe need to quit and focus on my study. But then talk to my coach, and he's like, you can do both of them. Since you start young, you can do both of them. And then later on, yeah, managing time is the key. If you manage time, if you put your effort to it, it's gonna become easier, I can say, yeah.
So the support helped you a lot as well with
Yes.
this. Do you have any tips on how to balance time?
Don't condense everything, and as I said, like put your schedule for yourself first, not everyone, not like any other people. Like for myself, I go to work and I go teach kids, and then the second day, like I have nothing, only my work, and then have my free time for myself. Either I go relaxing, I do like mental games, I go, gathering, do 1A, whatever, those kind of things, yeah.
So it's important to take care of yourself as well. It's like number one.
Yeah, and speaking for, be your role as a coach, for some of the kids who want to get into Taekwondo, would you say is one of the most difficult things that they have to go through, right? Or the thing that they have to face, or the hardest challenge about going to such a sport?
In this generation, what I see like far away, like from my experience, like most of the kids, they get shy to enter with other kids. I mean, I understand that because it's the first time to enter with other groups of kids, and this is the first step. Once he conquered this one, the next one, like you try to kick, he tried to do a punch, and then start to talk. We have a conversation sometimes. I ask him some question, I ask him like he can talk. Sometimes you see bullying in the class, you need to stand up. Don't hit him back, talk to me. We have to teach him like how to behave very well. Like when you face something, you need to talk to me. Someone who's have authority. It's not like I just go and hit him back, no. So that's kind of things like kids they face most of the time, like challenging in the beginning, like getting shy, like I don't want to do this. It's martial arts. I don't want to get hurt or something like that. But later on, with practice, with some not pressure, I can say like convincing from the parents and me, they can really good about it, yeah, for a while.
It's actually really cool that you're able to, guide the kids in the correct way. Do you think that you ever had a moment though where you feel like you failed, and did you find a lesson from it, or how did you deal with it?
So like at the beginning of my career as a coach, like second year or third, like you see a lot of kids, they come like excitement, they want to practice and everything. And then suddenly they disappear. I'm like, did I fail as a coach? Didn't like my class or something? You get a lot of thoughts in your head. But then later on, it's like, no, it's from them. It's because it's only one or two who left. But I have like 13 or 14 other players that still continue with me. So either it's the kid, he's not ready for this. There's no force, We cannot force people to my class or something. He can choose whatever he like. And other than that, the parents, maybe they found it too aggressive for them, or they want to try something. And some kids, they don't like taekwondo.
True.
They come by force by their parents. So it's like, I want to do soccer, or I want to do punches. And like, yeah, you cannot be here by force. Yeah, you can go and do other stuff by yourself.
No, that makes a lot of sense, especially because I think kids can change their minds a lot because they're still exploring what they like or don't like. So yeah, just don't take it personally, I guess.
And from working with so many kids, how much would you say is the equation between talent and hard work? Like, if a kid feels like they're not talented enough, would you say that's a good barrier of entry, or would you say you'd encourage them to come and try? Like, what's the amount of talent and the amount of work and hard work they have to put in the gym?
So since I teach or being a coach 2013, from now when the first anyone enter my class, like, he can notice like he's a hard worker, he like this sport, or you can see the talent from the first move. You can just notice like he got the talent. And to the parents, like, he's good at this, please think about his future. If he keep going, he have a good bright future. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, or I'm one of the coaches who I accept a, what do you call them, handicapped students, like either mentally or physically, and I take care of them because you need to be patient with them. Because a lot of parents, they come to me and they tell me like, we tried many other places and they always refuse us because coach cannot handle them, they cannot be patient with them. I understand that, but for myself, I'm doing like very different ways. Like, I teach the kids to be talented, focus on the sports, and also I encourage them to improve themselves. Like, they improve themselves, not just in my sports in my class. Yeah.
So for me personally, gaming has helped me in my day-to-day life, right? I feel like I drive better, my reaction speed is better, my English, as you mentioned before, it got better. But speaking on your role in martial arts, has, your take or your approach to gaming kind of influenced the way you approach, especially with kids nowadays who are so into gaming, like how you connect with them, how you communicate with them, and everything around that? Or are those two areas separate?
Sometimes it depends on the situation. Like, either I combine them or I give example like to the kids from the gaming. And you need to understand kids, this generation kids, like, when you understand them and talk to them, it's better to, the way you teach them, like giving examples from gaming, it's a lot easier because they understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. And sometimes I like to say, when you play a game, like one kid's like, when you play a game, do you do that and that and that? How's your reaction or something? You can apply the same thing in the sport. Yeah, how you movement, how is movement here, your reaction, you can apply it also there. So this generation now, in a tech generation, so there's a lot like comparison you can do, like gaming and taekwondo at the same time. Yeah.
Is there something you feel that you can learn more from Taekwondo than from gaming or other stuff?
I would say the physical aspect, like physical, like kicking, or when I play soccer, everyone says like, you're too fast or you're too good. Because a lot of kids, they do taekwondo and soccer at the same time because both are depend on your legs, like leg work and stamina and everything. So I can say the thing I get from taekwondo is the physical thing, stamina, and I like to play sports, so that helps me a lot. Yeah.
Connects. This reminds me of because I follow UFC a lot, and there's a guy called Max Holloway, and he actually did a kick in one of the fights that he never did before. And then he went on a podcast and he made an interview. So the podcaster asked him, how did you get that kick from? He said, I got it from the UFC game, the video game. So he actually got the video game, the move from the video game, applied it to real life. And I think that's kind of the point you were trying to say, is that, if you can make a comparison with the games for the kids, they're going to be better learner from it.
Right, I agree with you. Yeah, like how you said, like some players, like they learn some moves from the video games. Exactly. Yeah, and you can do vice versa. Like, you see your moves, also like your movement in the class, you can try it also in the video game, and vice versa. You learn some movement from the games and you can apply it also in the class. Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that you've managed to take so many different things from each field and like merge it together. I think that's something not a lot of people can do. In general, though, would you say that there's a moment in Taekwondo or refereeing that was like the best moment for you, your biggest source of pride?
I would say like the best moment, like when a kid for me, like been practicing with me like since he was a kid and to become like an adult, and like it's almost like years together, and he reach a black belt, and I see him in front of me also being a coach. So
No way.
yeah, I'm coaching a kid now. He was like 9 years old and now he's 20 and
Mashallah.
he's coaching with me now. So
Mashallah.
every time I see him, like, wow, I used to teach this when I was a kid. Now he's continue my career or my legacy, you can say. He's teaching now also with me.
That's amazing. It's like that was your accomplishment almost as well. I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah, I think that those kind of moments where, especially for people in your position who are coaches, teachers, educators, people spreading the knowledge, passing on what they know, that's the moment they feel proud the most, right, about their work, because you actually saw it, grow into fruition in front of you. And I do want to go back to one point is that we've gone through your role as an engineer, as a gamer, and as a Taekwondo coach. But, beneath all of that, which one would you say is the one that, that's Faisal Murad, that's you?
I guess it's more like, since everyone knows I started Taekwondo in 2001 and then grow up like that. So whenever they know I'm an engineer or a gamer, it's always going to be end up like, he's the coach, he's the captain. Yeah, they always call me like that. Even when I go outside in the street, like kids, they come to me and bow to me and they say, coach, coach. That's the most thing I hear, yeah. And do I hear both? Like people now ask me for my advice. Like we want to run our kids in your class as a coach. So like the majority of people, they focus on me as a coach, as a Taekwondo coach and a referee, and they ask me about this, yeah.
I'm sure they're surprised to know that you also are an engineer or something else.
Exactly.
I think in their eyes, they're like, oh, especially kids. I think kids only see things as like one way. You're my coach. You don't do anything else except that. That's your life. Do you think that for the kids, I feel like a lot of people, especially young people, might give up really easily. Do you have any advice for them or their parents to help them like keep going, especially if they're good at something, but they get in their own head?
What do I say every time, like, whenever, like, a lot of this happen also, like, parents I know, my family, like, they want to ask, like, what should I take my kids to, which sport, when anything. First ask him, like, see his response, let him try. And also ask around, not just, like, blindly, like, oh, I used to play. And this happened a lot. A lot of parents, like, oh, I used to do Taekwondo, let me take my kids to Taekwondo. Maybe he's not, and what do you can say, like he doesn't like it, it's not like his feeling, it's not interest. Yeah, exactly. So ask him first, let him try. If he like it, encourage him. Like let's say my coach, I have a Korean coach since I was a kid, so the way he was teaches was the hard way, like bring a stick and hit us with it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way.
Old-fashioned way. Yeah, hardcore, exactly. Yeah, so we cannot do this now. I cannot do the kids right now, so just talk to them. They different. If you talk to them, he will understand. If you lean to him and go just down to him and explain to him, like, this is going to be useful to you, and what do you like, just go and try it. And always ask around, like, to get information about this. And for the future also, see which kind of sport is going to help you in the future. Like, some sports, like, they have no future, just like style, like just doing like a daily style for yourself. Yeah, but there are some sports actually like give you like a chance to go to tournaments in Asia, in Olympics, something like that, or be a coach or athlete, or referee. So focus on that and always encourage your kids. That's the main thing. Yeah,
I think that's a very beautiful message to wrap the conversation at, because we have run out of time, is that try, right? Find out where you truly lie and just discover yourself. And with that, Faisal, I do want to thank you for joining us again on The Untold.
Thank you so much for hosting me, and it was a pleasure for me to meet you, both of you. It was a lovely conversation with you, yeah.
It really was. And thanks for like teaching us so much stuff about how to merge different fields and how patience is really important for everything, basically. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on The Untold. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
With that, we have reached the end of today's episode of The Untold, but another amazing episode, Lijane, don't you think?
It's amazing to see how he managed to balance all these different fields. And I love the advice that he gave for parents and for kids when trying different things, especially the idea of ask your kid what they want, listen to them, because they're not going to stick to something they don't like. And the fact that he appreciates that and helps guide the kid so that they can become the best version of themselves, I think that's beautiful.
It was beautiful. And one little tidbit for behind the camera stuff is that he did mention that he was a martial arts coach in real life, and then he goes to play fighting games, in the video games. And for the curious viewers, those games were Tekken and Street Fighter. He told me himself personally. So if you are curious, those are the games for you.
I did play that a long time ago when I was really young, back when it was, the beginning of certain gaming devices. I did really think that the way that he managed to find lessons from civil engineering allowed him to use physics in Taekwondo, and Taekwondo taught him patience in other areas.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy because to me, they're such different things. So seeing how he managed all of that and learned different lessons and also got to teach people these things, that's really cool.
Yeah, very well said, Lujain. But unfortunately, we've reached the end of the Untold episode and we have to wrap things up. And for now, that's our show. Until next time, goodbye for now.
Goodbye and stay tuned for next time.